soldiers for his kind acts. The Spanish-American War is a conflict little known by the average American. Harvey Rosenfeld's diary tells of Hamilton Fish Jr. and other Americans who have not received their proper recognition. Their heroism merits attention, as does the war that provided the setting for their deeds. Introduction. American diplomat John Hay, later Secretary of State, called the Spanish-American War a splendid little war. And why not? Certainly the war's proceedings made it, in the eyes of Americans, the most popular of all wars since attaining nationhood. Putting aside the fratricidal Civil War, America had taken up arms in the War of 1812 and the Mexican War. The issues in the conflict with England were national pride, a hunger for new territory, Indian troubles, and fur trade. The war divided America. The end satisfied few. No new territory, and no resolution of issues, i.e., impressment of American seamen or neutral rights at sea. It began with the annexation of Texas. The Mexican War was an expansionist war, consistent with President Polk's aim of acquiring territory from Texas to the Pacific Ocean. Manifest destiny had been achieved after cessation of hostilities. 2/5 of Mexican land had been ceded to the U.S. Despite this euphoria, that war has long been regarded as an aggressive one on the part of America. Not so for the Spanish-American War. From the start, popular thinking went, America was acting from humane causes, seeking to end the oppression and brutality that Spain had wreaked upon the innocent Cubans. In this spirit, to support the war was the highest form of patriotism. Those who fought were stirred by the war song, "The Stars and Stripes Forever." And there were glorious heroes, legends, such as Commodore Dewey and Theodore Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. Other colorful figures were Admiral Sampson and the 300-pound Civil War hero General William R. Shafter. Naval constructor Richmond Pearson Hobson emerged from obscurity to dazzle and win, first the admiration of Spain, and later of his fellow countrymen, thereby becoming an instant charismatic icon. Less than 40 years before, the Union had nearly been destroyed as North fought South. Now they fought alongside each other, with Northern President McKinley offering 3 Major General of Volunteers posts to 3 Southerners, General Fitzhugh Lee, General Joseph Wheeler, and General M.C. Butler. Major General William Shafter spoke of this spirit at a special service in December 1898 at the Tabernacle Baptist Church in Brooklyn. "The Spaniards learned a lesson they will remember for a long time, and for the first time in the history of this nation, every person in it was in hearty accord. The scars and bitterness left after the War of the Rebellion were all wiped out, and in thinking of this war, we have forgotten the other." A stunning victory at Manila Bay, glorious heroism at San Juan Hill in Cuba, and total surrender at Puerto Rico, all these achievements and more in 3+ months. All this was painted magnificently by an army of writers and artists, featuring such prose masters as Stephen Crane and Richard Harding Davis, or the artist Frederick Remington. No war to that time had attracted such media coverage. When a peace treaty was signed in the fall of 1898, Spain relinquished all claims to Cuba and turned over to the U.S., Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. All this was gained at minimal cost, less than 3,000 lives, and expenditure of $250 million. America had become a majestic world power. Yes, a splendid little war. However, once the glow of victory had disappeared, and decades of analysis, the Spanish-American War might better be described as a dirty little war. Altruism, selflessness, discard all that. Partisan politics and economic interests dictated the need to end the presence and influence of Spain in Cuba. While disclaiming expansionist interests, America did not intend to let loose of Puerto Rico. Interest in Hawaii had been intense for decades, but annexation had split Congress. However, the Spanish-American War gave annexationists the votes to dispatch the question. By design or accident, the United States had joined the European powers in pursuit of empire, scattered over the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. While the popular jingoist press successfully conveyed the impression that everyone stood behind the war, dissent was not absent. For example, the Jewish community sympathized with the plight of the Cubans, but many said no to armed intervention. Cyrus Salzburger